Hello, welcome to my breeding fact that you might want to know about Pokemon. First of all, if this man here, the dude says, your Pokemon prefer to play with the other Pokemon than each other, that means they will not breed. Ever. They are not going to breed. That means they're not in the same egg group or they're just incapable of breeding. Things that will never breed are things like legendaries, unknown, and anything like that. Except Fiona, which will create another Fiona if bred by a Ditto. Right, now, your Pokemon will create an egg every 200 egg cycle. Sorry, messed that up there. Every egg cycle. And every egg cycle will count for 1. And some little Pokemon, like Magikarp, can be bred with something like 3 egg cycles, which can be very simple. And there are others, such as Gibble and Fiona, which take 40 egg cycles, which is 255 times 40, which is 2,550 times by 4, which I'm not going to work out right now. Somewhere around 8,000 steps, which is quite a lot. Right. Next, it's a nice thing to know that if you have the ability Flame Body, that it will warn your addict, making your egg cycles count for 2. So that will be 125.5 for every egg cycle, making that really good and very, very useful. When your Pokemon does have an egg, depending on which generation you're in, if I'm on HeartGold, SoulSilver, this guy will call you if you say he will. Right. Now, obviously, 1 male and 1 female are to breed. Nothing else. Right. The exception is Ditto. Ditto is genderless, and whatever Pokemon you breed it with, the gender doesn't matter either. Right, this is a bit complicated now. Ditto can breed with anything except for those who can't breed and those that, obviously can't breed. Now, there are some that are genderless and can only breed with Ditto. Joining this honour is Magnemite and Metacross. So if you want to know maybe of them, you're going to need a Ditto. Dittos can be found relatively around this area, which I am not going to go into detail about looking at because they're quite hard to find. Some of my games I've just found them straight away, some I have not. Quite annoying. But it can work. For them to breed, it will mean that they have to be in the same egg group. There's if you want to look at what egg groups are possible and who's in them, go to the index in Bulbapedia egg groups. Right. Next, we will be talking about what said. If he says, obviously I told you at the beginning, if he says Pokemon seem to play with other Pokemon rather than each other, means they're incapable of breeding. Means they will not create an egg ever. If they say the two don't seem to get along, it will give them a 20% chance of breeding every egg cycle. And if the Pokemon says the two seem to get along, it'll go 50%. And if the Pokemon guy says the Pokemon seem to get along very well, it'll be a 70% chance every egg cycle, which is very good. Now, maybe I don't know, but traded Pokemon are a lot better for breeding than ones with the same IP number. If you have a look, none of my Pokemon are traded, which is kind of annoying. And yeah. So, if 2 Pokemon are the same species and from the same, not traded, it'll give you a 50% chance to seem to get along well. Yes. If the Pokemon are not the same species and traded, it'll be also a 50% chance. If the Pokemon are not the same species and not traded, it'll be a 20% chance. And if the Pokemon are same species and they are traded, one of them is traded, then that'll give you a 70% chance. Thank you for watching this video. It's very, very complicated, and that's my phone. Sorry about that. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.